Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let us discuss a little bit about enterprise agility. What is enterprise agility? Now, as you might be already knowing, these agile best practices evolved within the IT departments of organizations. It started with maybe software development where a big bang releases did not give them the intended value. So instead, they went after frequent releases. So this incremental and iterative models of development came into existence, which enabled IT departments or software teams to deliver frequently working software to the business. Now, if the business has to really consume it and start using it and get the value out of it, then the business also need to be embrace agility. And hence the term enterprise agility came into existence. And what is the need for enterprise agility? Now, take the case of a bank. Before, banks had to compete with other banks only. Now, the business canvas has changed because now a lot of online payment companies have come in and they are also involved in financial transactions and they are eating into the space of the traditional banks. So a traditional bank will have to now compete with new generation online payment companies and new generation banks. So the competition is getting maybe tougher, and it is becoming totally different because most of the traditional organizations are very rigid, heavyweight with heavyweight processes and stuff like that. Whereas most of these new generation companies, they have very nimble processes so that they can do things much faster than traditional organizations. That is the real reason why these days large organizations are really trying to improve the agility of their entire businesses. So the classical agile within the software is now becoming a way of doing business for the entire organization. So personally, see, I worked with lawyers implementing agility into their processes. I worked with banks to improve agility of their processes. I worked with marketing teams to improve agility of their way of working. So it is quite interesting. At the same time, when we go for an organizational transformation of a very large organization into agility, we need to have a roadmap. It is not as easy as transforming one team or two teams into agile or 10 teams into agile. An enterprise-wide rollout of agile, it calls for a clean roadmap. Otherwise, the end results can be very confusing. Now let us quickly, based on my 30 years of experience in projects and organizations, and during the past 15 years, I was hands-on working with agile teams. Based on all this experience, I've coined this enterprise agility maturity model with the intent of giving a roadmap for organizations a practical roadmap for organizations to follow, or as a guideline they can use uh, to tailor or to plan their entire agility program. Now, this has 5 stages, and at level 0, all of us know that there is absolutely no agility. Either the organization's processes can be so rigid, or everything can be totally ad hoc or informal. I call it as zero agility. And at level 1, organizations become partially agile. At level 2, the agile practices to be followed are well defined in the organization. And at level 3, they have a highly disciplined agile practices in place. And at level 4, because further improvement is possible only with the help of tools and technology and automation. So at level 4, the thrust will be on automation, and at level 5, it is highly optimized. That means the enterprise portfolio management also should be supporting the agile way of working. Otherwise, the enterprise will not be able to leverage the benefits of agility. So this is in a nutshell the enterprise agility maturity model. And now let us go through these things in detail. At level 0, zero agility means rigid processes or no processes, no defined processes, and diverse tools. People may be using Excel sheets, MS Project, Primavera, Jira, whatnot here. So n number of tools. Maybe some of them may be talking about Scrum, somebody else may be talking about Scaled Agile, somebody else may be talking about some other flavor of Agile. There is no common vocabulary. There's absolutely nothing. Then at level 1, you get into a partially agile mode where some agile practices are followed. Traditional mindset, still the mindset is traditional, and no defined processes and diverse tools. That is, those are the typical characteristics of level 1. And at level 2, things gets defined, that all defined agile practices are followed. So level 1 gives some room for experimentation with the standard agile practices, and by the time an organization reaches level 2, with the input of the practicing team members, they should be able to define a set of practical agile practices which can be followed in that particular organization. Still, there is no empiricism. That means all the ceremonies are happening, but then nothing is quantified. Processes are defined, but still they may use diverse tools. And from there we move on to level 3, which is a highly disciplined way of working. All defined agile practices are followed, and empiricism is implemented. When we say empiricism, everything we talk with numbers. There is no guesstimates there. We need to have velocities, story points, those kind of things, and the velocity patterns must be analyzed. Then only continuous improvement is possible. So at level 3, everything is quantified, predictability is more, and the standardization of tools also happens, and that gives better visibility about the project progress to the senior management. And at level 4, what happens is at level 3, at some point in time, this productivity gains can get uh, stabilized, and then further improvement is not possible manually. At that time, we need to leverage technology. So with a lot of thrust must be given to QA automation, build and deployment automation. Otherwise, continuous deployment may not be possible. Uh, so that is the thrust area for level 1. And with that, we get more productivity boost. And at level 5, the entire agile practices are continuously improved to improve on productivity and fully integrated with enterprise portfolio management. So till here, uh, it could be a part, mainly it is driven bottom up, and here now the top down thrust also happens. Because if the portfolio management of the organization is again traditional, uh, they will not be able to leverage the ability of the frequent deliveries achieved by the agile teams. So the enterprise portfolio management also should become more agile. Then we get the real benefits. So that's it. So my intent was to give you a roadmap in the form of enterprise agility maturity model, because this is a journey. This is not a one-time activity. This is a continuous process. So for a large organization, a traditional large organization, if they have to move from level 0 to, let's say, level 5, it may take 2 to 3 years time with continuous nurturing from the senior management. You can download this agility maturity, enterprise agility maturity model from pmri.in. I've given the details at the description of this video. You scroll down and see the description. There we have the links to download the PDF version of this with the complete description. So please feel free to download it. Thank you very much.